Early in the My Hero Academia series, the Todoroki family subplot was introduced, and it quickly became a fan favorite. As the story progressed, scandalous truths about Endeavor's household continued to emerge, culminating in the Blue Flame villain, Darby, revealing his actual identity as Toya Todoroki. After a fiery encounter in the final war that threatened to consume not only the Todorokis, but numerous evacuating citizens, many fans believed their saga to have finally reached its end. However, like a phoenix, the entire clan rises from those ashes to reunite in Chapter 426, where each member receives an appropriate conclusion. Right before its cliffhanger ending, Chapter 425 hinted quite heavily that Toya had defied all odds and survived all his injuries from the final war. In the Hellish Todoroki Family final, the whole family has several long overdue interactions, ranging from achingly wholesome discoveries to a heart-wrenching final goodbye. In one of the series' most emotionally charged chapters, Endeavor finally has an opportunity to make peace with his firstborn son, but his efforts might be too little, too late. Endeavor announces his retirement in My Hero Academia 426. The Hellish Todoroki Family final opens with a view of the entire family, who have apparently just arrived to visit Toya at the secure facility he's being held at. Fuyumi and Natsuo, who traveled together, tell both their parents that they didn't have to come and visit Toya, but Rei replies that the same could just as easily be said for both of them. Enji also tries to convince Rei to sit out the meeting due to her health, but Shoto quickly cuts the conversation short. He simply asserted that none of them were present out of a sense of duty, implying they had each chosen to come because they still viewed Toya as family. As they approach Toya's holding cell, the Todorokis realize that it is actually a high-tech life support system, both preventing him from escaping the facility and keeping him alive. The doctors in charge of Toya confirm to the Todorokis that Toya's condition won't ever improve. According to them, it was only a slow march towards death that awaited him. Even now, the former powerhouse of the League of Villains is only able to speak for a few minutes a day, with no energy at all to spare for any physical activity. When Toya realized who his visitors were, all he could do was weakly croak that he wasn't a tourist attraction, but even that attempt at a rant was cut short by a coughing fit that seized him. Enji spoke with Toya first, revealing to his son that he would be retiring from being a pro-hero. He explained that it had always been his plan to do so after the war, but losing his arm had made it an inevitability. Enji agrees that Toya's flames ended up being more powerful than anything he was capable of creating, but is rebuffed by Toya, who sarcastically extends his condolences for Enji's retirement and calls his attempts at playing nice cowardly. Once again, Enji defers to Toya, saying that his son was the one who understood him the best, since he had kept studying his activities as the hero Endeavor over the years. Finally, Enji divulges the reason he had visited Toya. He acknowledged that he was at fault for ignoring Toya during his childhood, and took responsibility for the powerful flame quirk that had fueled his resulting crime spree. Enji revealed that he would come to visit Toya for as long as he continued to live, and would attempt to cultivate a relationship with him, despite his change of heart arriving too late. The Todoroki children look to the future in My Hero Academia 426. After Enji's moving confession, Toya noticeably becomes agitated, and the doctor monitoring his vitals reports that any further strain on his already elevated heart rate could prove dangerous to his health. However, it is only now that Rei and Fuyumi begin to speak. They both express that they'd like to talk to Toya as well, with Rei confirming that there's so much left unsaid between them. Unfortunately, the weight of their kindness only causes Toya to collapse, prompting the doctor to chime in once again, this time more sternly, that they'd spoken enough for the day. Shoto requests one final question, despite knowing Toya might never hear it. He asks Toya what his favorite food was, but turns away after a while with no response. As Shoto walks away, the entire family hears one final shaky word, soba, confirming that did indeed share a favorite food. What the Todorokis don't see are the tears Toya silently sheds while responding. Once the family leave the facility, Natsuo, who had been silent throughout the entire visit, finally speaks up, revealing to Enji that he's cutting him off completely. He goes on to say that he's getting married to his girlfriend, but that Enji isn't invited to the wedding. Natsuo also questions Fuyumi's intentions, and his sister confirms that she had to quit her job, but was looking forward to a fresh start at a new place that one of her students' mother recommended. Once again, Endeavor accepts his children's judgment of him with grace. He makes no move to plead with Natsuo, but informs them that he will be making amends and trying to shield his children from the fallout of his mistakes for the rest of his lives. Endeavor goes on to claim that his current conviction wouldn't change whether his children were around to witness his efforts or not, but that it was something he had always intended doing, ever since Toya exposed their family's dark past during the Paranormal Liberation War. Natsuo silently responded that Endeavor's quest sounded like hell, but he had never once thought of his father as a badass until that moment. Before Shoto enters a car to leave, he turns to his parents and asks them not to worry about him, since his classmates in 2A were going to support him in his journey to become the man he wished to be. The Hero Public Safety Commission gets new leadership instructor MHA 426. Chapter 426 smoothly transitions into its final section when Ray shows Enji a text from Hawks, commenting that even in hell, he still had people looking out for him. In the text, Hawks asks if there was anything he could do to help, but Enji refuses his offer, claiming Hawks has enough on his plate as the new head of the Hero Public Safety Commission. When the perspective shifts to show Hawks sending the text, he is shown to be at another prison facility visiting Lady Nagant, who is once again behind bars. Hawks questions her decision to stay incarcerated, since she received blanket amnesty for her contributions in the final war. Lady Nagant responded that she was only staying in prison for the time being, as her years spent incarcerated had left her unprepared for an immediate transition to freedom. She is also wary of having her assassination skills being taken advantage of yet again, and was happy to dine at the taxpayer's expense until she felt prepared to handle the outside world. She told Hawks that until she saw significant change in the Hero Society as a result of Izuku Midoriya's actions, she would be content to remain behind bars. The chapter ends with a throwaway panel confirming that both Gentle Criminal and La Brava accepted the deal Lady Nagant chose to suspend for herself. Both of them were ecstatic at their reunion, and the security guard monitoring them was quite eager to see them leave. On the very last page, Spinner is shown lying in a hospital bed looking worse for wear, as the door to his room slowly opens, admitting an unknown visitor to see him. In conclusion, My Hero Academia Chapter 426, titled The Hellish Todoroki Family Final, delivers a dramatic and intense conclusion to the Todoroki family saga. This chapter masterfully weaves together themes of redemption, reconciliation, and the enduring bonds of family amid chaos. As the Todoroki family faces their internal demons and external threats, their story highlights the complexities of forgiveness and the strength found in unity. With powerful character development and stunning action sequences, Chapter 426 sets the stage for new beginnings and unresolved conflicts, leaving fans eagerly anticipating the next chapter in the My Hero Academia saga.